Hello everyone, and today I will give you the best build for every single brawler in Brawl Stars. So if you have a question or ever asking yourself, okay, I want to play, for example, Lily today in Showdown or Search, whoever it is, this video will help you to understand which build you need on a brawler, why you need the build. And we also added some gameplay to it so you can directly see the impact of an ability. So have much fun with this video. I hope it helps, and don't forget to subscribe. Action. So let's start with Shelly, and for Shelly in Solo Showdown we play the sniping gadget in combination with Band-Aid. Like that we are able to have more sustain in Solo Showdown rounds, you know, saved me a lot of times, saved like any Shelly player a lot of times. The snipe gadget just has much more value because Shelly doesn't have much range. Shield damage in Showdown always. In 3v3 you can consider playing snipe and slow, because slow and snipe is most likely always a free kill. You just super click auto aim 2 times or 3 times. I think 2 seconds only enough for like your auto attacks. Then you always have a free kill, just as in duels. And about gears, like the only reason to change gears is like a bushy map. If you have bushy maps, then you can play speed and damage. And 3v3 in Solo Showdown it would be shield and speed, because you always want to have shield in Solo Showdown. And we get to Nita. In Solo Showdown, well, I don't know why you would play Nita in Solo Showdown, but you would play the stun gadget, of course, to get rid of assassins and tanks if you're somehow able to get your bear. So you have some time to get away from them. Star power, I recommend bear with me, because actually you have enough damage and it most likely won't happen that hyper bear has, you know, any impact. And in solo we would like to play shield and damage. In 3v3 things are a bit different. In Brawler, for example, I recommend using the second gadget, so having the shield so your bear survives a little longer, and also the healing star power, so you can heal up your bear or the bear heals you. By the way, in Heist things are a bit different. In Heist I recommend using the shield and then also hyper bear, you know, so you want to have more damage in Heist. And if you play defense, you probably also would like to go with stun. Gears are dependent again. Never play like heal or vision gear if I don't really say, yeah, you should play that. In Solo Showdown it's shield, as I said, and in 3v3 probably if the map has bushes, then you would like to go with speed. +1 or pet power. Not really recommended unless you're playing like Heist and there's no bushes on the map, and you can definitely go for pet power. What is the next one? In Solo Showdown we have a speed loader. You always want to have additional auto attacks to deal as much damage as possible at any time, and he would like to play with the speed star power. I'm personally a much bigger fan of the second one, so I would in Solo Showdown play the second one. But for the majority of you guys, I think having better movement is just better for you, so you can dodge better, but I like this one just way more, but it's a personal thing. Always reload gear no matter what. In Showdown we play shield gear again. In 3v3 it depends. If you have like a special tactic, then you play the second gadget to open the map, but if that's not the case, also go with the speed loader all the time. It's really a matter of preparation here. If you have a open map, you go for the second star power. If it's not really an open map, but I don't know where you would play Cold then you might go with this one. Okay, next one is Bull. I rarely see Bull in the game anymore. I think he's kind of forgotten. If you decide to play him in Solo Showdown, then you would like to go with the Stomper gadget, so you can always have more mobility or more options to make a kill. And you want to play the shield, of course, so you have more sustain, don't die that fast. As gears, it's shield and damage again, unless you have bushy maps when you would like to go for like shield and speed. Supercharge is not that efficient on Bull. In 3v3 you would also like to play the Stomper gadget, unless you play Heist, then you play the T-Bone injector, getting some health. Same for the star power. In basically every mode you play with star power to have some more sustain, and in Heist you would play the double reload speed. It doesn't mean that the reload speed is unplayable, but in most cases the shield just has more value than the berserker. As gears, with bushy maps you play speed and damage. On maps with a lot of walls, or if you're really depending on your Stomper gadgets, then you may also consider playing +1. And if you don't need both of them, then you can consider going for the heal gear. For Broken Solo Showdown we want to have movement, as you guys know. You want to escape from certain situations, need to be able to dodge, and if a gadget allows you to do that, especially as a sniper, then you take it. So definitely the jump. Gears are reload and shield. Always play the reload gear on a brawler, the best gear for sure. And you also want to play rocket number 4. Like that you will be able to open chests even faster, or if someone rushes with you. You just have the 4th auto attack that you will really need. Spam some auto aim or to make some good combination with the 4th rocket. In 3v3, if you want to open the map, then of course you play rocket fuel, but in some modes like knockout, for example, you want to play jump also. Then in heist, we would play the first star power, so we can deal way more damage on the heist save. You can also consider playing this star power in the other modes. I always prefer the rocket number 4. And, you know, it can be really useful to make more consistent kills with the super. So if you feel good with the super, you can also play this one there. Primo is the next one to talk about. In Solo Showdown, you definitely play the throwaway gadget. You can do nice combinations against Shellys with super, for example. And also the burning damage, so you have more consistent damage when you engage on someone. So this is the build you play since day 1 on Primo. Shield damage you take here. And for 3v3 is most likely the same. You should probably also go with the throwing gadget, unless you want to open a map with Primo. And in Brawl, you would take the speed, I believe. Like, the speed can be really useful to make some nice scores, but honestly, I also recommend you playing the damage. And yeah, depending on the map, I don't want to repeat it the whole time. Remember now. So if you have bushes, you play speed. If you have no bushes, you play health gear or shield, whatever you prefer. Or even the supercharge on Primo, it would make more sense as on Bull. Barley in Solo Showdown is a wild take, so don't do that. But if you want to play slow gadget, play the additional damage and go for shield damage. If you play 3v3, like if you're a more normal person, it depends. So if you have a tanky matchup, for example, you play the slow. If most likely you play against other rangers and other throwers, then you should go for the heal gadget definitely. So you can support your team like that, and also the damage. And you can keep also in 3v3 shield and damage. There's no reason to play vision, speed or heal gear. If you want so, then you could switch shield with +1. Poco in Solo Showdown is also a wild one. You can only use this one, like the heal, because the other one is basically useless. We don't need to talk about it. Same for the star power. There's only one possible build. And in 3v3, you would also play the healing gadget, the heal star power, if you want to play a tanky combo, or the damage star power if your allies do not really rely on getting heal from you. My opinion, shield damage is always the way to go. In 3v3, like Brawl, for example, you could also go for damage +1. That can also work. I'm really happy with shield and damage. For Rosa in Solo Showdown, you would like to play the Grow Light gadget, the first one, so you can create some bushes for yourself and have a safe space to survive. It's really powerful in Solo Showdown. It worked multiple times. Like, I don't remember failing with this strategy, just building bushes on a Solo Showdown map. And for the star power, you take also the heal. It is super useful to create bushes and also, you know, directly have impact from it with the heal. I then suggest the +1 gear. And since you also create on bushes, you should also go for the speed gear. Like that, you have the perfect build on Rosa with speed, healing, bushes to take cover. I think it's a very mighty build. For 3v3, then you most likely want to play this gadget. You can play this gadget like the first one if your opponents have no break and you have like a very tanky combo, for example. But overall, you want to go with unfriendly bushes, play Rosa on maps with some bushes, slow the enemy, and engage like this. This is a matter of preparation. So if you want to have more damage while supering, go for that. So you have more burst. It's very good against brawlers with high HP. And this one you take against, you know, poking brawlers, Jean, for example, or brawlers that rely on pinching damage, like on poking damage. Then this star power is the way to go. And we have Jessie. In Solo Showdown, play slow, so you can keep away assassins or tanks, but don't play Jessie in Showdown in general. And also the repair star power. It's the same for 3v3 here, but in heist you would play just the opposite thing, having more attack speed from the turret and probably also playing the shocky star power. But I personally, even in heist, play the repair, so the turret just can deal a little more damage there. Shield damage is what I always go with, but you can easily go for pet power. The turret is even a bit stronger, which makes sense with the hypercharge, and yeah, the whole brawler is building around the turret. On Dynamite, well, I think they want to rework his gadget, like removed from the game. Definitely play the stun on him. This is Dynamite's mightiest weapon, no matter if Showdown or not. For the star power, same thing. Like, okay, probably all the Dynamite mains get out of their corner right now and say, no, how do you dare saying that? If you're a great Dynamite jumper, then okay, play this one. It can save you. Yes, it can be really good. It can be played in a really, really good way. But let's be honest, are you a crazy Dynamite jumper? I guess probably not. So what you want to do is play just consistent more damage, because most people are not capable of using this ability, which is why I suggest this. And also +1, because the gadget is one of the best gadgets in the game, and the shield gear. For tickets, also the same for both modes. Shield, faster reload, the thick hat for extra health, so it just hits more often, and the shield. It's a very, very, very strong build on tick. You don't need something like the health gear, and you're ready to go. April is a tricky one, because you have to be careful again. I can say play the port gadget for every single mode except heist. For heist, you want to go with the extra credit, so you can deal more damage. And the star power is also a tricky one because plugged in is definitely the star power you want to play in solo showdown or in any solo modes. But damage can be so helpful for your team in 3v3. You can do that if you feel like your team needs that. If you're fine by having slow movement. But I always need this one. This bro is just too slow. And you go with the reload gear as always with shield. For Rico, always play the multi-ball launcher even when it just got nerfed. It's still the best answer to any Edgar kit or whatever jumping on you. This star power is crazy. I can definitely recommend that for showdown. But overall, this one is the way to go. Reload gear and shield gear and you're ready to go. For Daryl, I can make it simple. For heist, go for the first gadget. For every other mode, the second one. Same for heist here. For heist, you go with the reload speed for 5 seconds. In any other mode, you take the shield. Shield damage are the gears. Unless you have bushes, then you know speed. And if no bushes in 3v3, you go for the health gear. But in showdown, it's shield. For Penny, we have salty barrel. Like that, you can block projectiles, kill a lot of tanks or assassins. You really want to have that. You most likely never play the second gadget. That's my personal opinion. I don't think you should do that. And depending if you play against assassins or tanks, play the knockback star power. If you do not play against tanks, for example, or say like, I don't need a knockback, then you go with first star power. Shield damage in showdown, and in 3v3, I would recommend the head power instead of shield. Because your turret is your carry, so this is why you play Penny, so give it some pet power. For Carl, in 3v3, you would play definitely the heat ejector. It deals so much damage, like one swipe in combination with the fire gadget, and you kill so many brawlers with just one swipe. But for showdown, you just want to have the mobility. Shield damage are the gears. On bushy maps, you can also consider playing vision gear. And as a star power, it depends. If you know your matchup, like if you know, okay, this opponent team doesn't have a lot of stuns or canceling abilities, then play the shield for sure. But if you see, okay, the opponent team has like 2000 stuns anyway, and I won't be able to make any use of my super, most likely, then you should go for the first one. And we have Jackie. Always take the speed boost and always play counter crush. So whatever tank, assassin, or whoever deals damage on you, they deal 30% of the damage to themselves. So important. In most situations, it ends like that both of you just kill each other, which is pretty annoying as Jackie, but it's also good because it tells your enemy, okay, I need to be careful with Jackie. And like that, people will think twice before engaging you. Yeah, same rule. Bushes means speed. No bushes means heal. Showdown means shield. But I'm also a fan having the +1 gear ready because her gadget is pretty strong, so you also wouldn't make anything wrong with that. As is the next one, the last super rare brawler. Easy one. Always play the damage gadget. Always play the more damage star power and shield damage. That's all. You can also consider +1 instead of shield in 3v3. But yeah, that's all. And we have bow. I'm personally a fan of the totem because it can block a projectile of a sniper, for example. The tripwire can be quite good if you play it in combination with the stun mines, you know, or to open a map. In Brawler, you want to play this one. Like in 3v3, this gadget might be even better. In showdown, play the totem. On bushy maps, play this gadget like Snake Prairie or Cavern Churn, for example. If you don't have bushy maps, obviously second star power. Reload and shield, and that's it. Now we have Ems. Her first gadget is essential. Don't you ever dare thinking about playing this gadget. Never do it. Never do it. This brawler relies on the first gadget. Should be most likely a passive ability for her because without the gadget, she's basically useless. Everyone can just run towards her and kill her. Then you most likely also want to have the more damage. I'm always a fan of the most damage possible. If you're like a professional player, like if you want to go for the really best build, then you can also consider having the heal gadget for more control. But I'm personally a much bigger fan of the damage one. We definitely want to play in showdown like shield and +1 on her. In 3v3, you could consider going like +1 in damage, which also should work pretty well. Or speed, for example. Then Stu. Easy one. If you have walls, play break. Or if you need to break against throwers, for example. If you need walls, for example, because you have some snipers as a matchup, then you can go for the speed zone one. It can block a projectile, but it also gives your team an additional movement speed boost to dodge way better. Star power, I always go for the heal. If you feel like you have to break larger walls, then you maybe go for this one, so you can break better. But this one, in my opinion, is the best star power for him. Shield damage gears and Piper is the next. Here we want to play the auto aimer gadget in showdown and also faster reload. So just imagine an assassin jumping on you, like Daryl. You can just use your auto aimer gadget, and that also allows you to reload 0.4 ammo like that. The gadget counts as a shot, so that works pretty well. Shield damage is the way to go, or maybe even shield +1 if you feel like it's a tanky map or something. But I think shield damage might be better. In 3v3, it depends. For example, on the map Shooting Star, you would like to have the second gadget for easier kills and also a bit longer range, extending your range with that gadget. But be careful if your opponents play fast brawlers or brawlers that are planning to engage you to try to get a melee range, then you still want to play the first one. And the ambush star power is very powerful if you have some bushes. In Knockout, for example, there's a map. I think it's out in the open. But if you don't have like a bush, and especially in fast-paced modes like Brawl, you want to stay with reload. Heal damage also is the best build I can recommend. Then we have Pam. She's out of meta, but if you plan on playing her, play Scrap Sucker to steal your opponent's ammo. It counters Draco, for example, in his dragon form. All his ammo will be gone with just one attack, or Amber also. This one is a pretty good gadget against certain matchups. Or brawlers that reload very slowly. Miko, for example, needs so long to reload. So Pam is a very good answer to Miko also. It's for both modes, and the star power is damage also for both modes. Yeah, here it depends. You can surely play the mythic gear, like 20% more healing is quite good, so maybe play that. Maybe you need +1 for the round, maybe you prefer damage, or vision, for example, if there's a lot of bushes, or even shield. That's up on you. You won't do anything wrong with any of these gadgets. But if you want to have an overall build, then I can recommend playing like the +1 gadget, because it's pretty good. For Frank, it depends on the combo. If you know your opponent's combo, they have a lot of stuns, you play this gadget. If they don't, you play this. But overall, I would always go with the second gadget. Take definitely the healing gear on Frank in combination with damage. That's the build you want to play always. Like always heal, maybe on bushy maps like speed also. But I think heal gear and damage are definitely the best ones on him. And I recommend playing Sponge for just even more health, no matter what mode. His star power also got nerfed, 25% more damage. It's kind of cool. In Brawl, you probably want to play this one or in fast-paced modes. But overall, if you actually need some health, then go with this one. For BB, we want to play the healing gadget in every single mode. Never play the slowing one. You also need your super for that, and it's so not worth it. For the star power, most of the times you want to play the speed. It just gives you more options to dodge. If you're like a teamer in Showdown, for example, then the shield one can be pretty good, or if you play a tanky combo. But overall, you will be fine with home run. Shield damage is what I can suggest. If you're not a big fan of shield for whatever reason, you can also go for +1 or heal. For B, we want to go with the first gadget. Slow opponents behind walls, block projectiles. This one is definitely not useless, but I think this one has overall more value and is recommended gadget overall. As the star power, well, if your aim is bad, play the first one. If your aim is good, if you feel like a good player, always play the second one. The second one is better. The first one is for people that can't really hit their shots. Shield damage we go, and Nani's next. Return to center is what you want to play against single target high DPS brawlers like Piper, Mandy, Maisie. Against brawlers with low projectiles, honestly, then just play Warping Time. Play Warping Time in combination with the Tempered Steel star power if you want to teleport to the heist safe, or if you want to make kills, if you want to make plays like that. But overall, against single target, use this one and the Bounty or Wipeout, for example. More damage to get some safe kills on your opponents and help your team winning. Gears is complicated. You want to have damage because if you're under 50% HP and you have your super, and you can just go to the base, start using your super with the damage gear. Yes, you will heal up, but it doesn't matter because the damage gear will be affected with the super, and like that you deal 50% additional damage. So it's pretty good on Nani. If you feel confident enough, then you can go for supercharge, but I personally recommend having shield so you're not down too fast. Nani doesn't have a lot of HP. So on Edgar, those are not easy. In duels, for example, you want to play the hardcore gadget because you farm your super anyway, or on solo showdown you could also consider playing hardcore. But if you want to be more flexible, having more mobility, then play Let's Fly. That's also my favorite. But it also depends on your opponent team. If you play against 3 tanks, for example, and just go for hardcore gadget, definitely you will get your super anyway. But if you play against throwers, for example, you want to play Let's Fly. Star power, always the second one to get more healing from damage, and always take +1 gear on Edgar if you play Let's Fly in combination with shield or damage. I prefer shield. And if you play the hardcore gadget, then what you want to do is having the supercharge gear and also shield or damage. But I'm always going with shield. For Griff, play Piggy Bank if you want to open the map. But anyway, just always play this gadget. It's the better one. And I'm a fan of the first star power. I just like having DPS as fast as possible. But honestly, the second one is better. Reload gear and shield. For Grom, actually I would always say go for radio check. But depending on the matchup, most likely you want to play Grom in Spirit Wars or Knockout. You can also play Watchtower if you play against a Piper, for example, with Curve Fever. Like that, you have a very good counter to that gadget. You just need some reaction time. Always go for the second star power. The extra damage is so good. Even when it's cool to have additional movement speed when you have your super ready, your super is there to use it. Just just go for the damage one. Shield damage are the gears. Oni basically has one of the most useless gadget and one of the most useless star powers. So definitely just play the first one, the first star power. For gears, I recommend always +1 and always supercharge. That's the perfect build you can play, Oni. This is the only build you ever want to play because the supercharge gear allows you to charge super with only 3 shots, and +1 gadget helps you a lot because your gadget is so useful. For Gale, play Twister unless there's a map where you need Spring Ejector. I like freeze more, but I think the stun might be just better. I have to accept it. So if you want to play efficient, go for this one. But I think against tanks, for example, slow is so good. Like you slow an opponent and your next attack will also hit like that. You can just hunt your enemies down, which is why I just love this one more. But this one just guarantees you a kill. So most of you play the first one, but I can also recommend the second one. You won't do anything wrong with that. Shield and damage gears. For Colette, we always play the healing gadget and the push it star power if you really want to make sure that you get 3 hits on your opponents, which is most likely tanks. So, you know, if you just are relying on all the damage that you can get, you play shield in heist, for example, because there you don't want to hit your opponents, but you want to hit the heist. So after that, you want to have some shield. Gears are shield and +1, but you can surely also play the +1 because the gadget is really, really strong. For Bell, most likely want to play the traps because like this, you can spam auto aim with Bell and get a free kill. For a star power, in most situations, we want to have the shield because whenever we do a hit, we have some additional sustain. But if you have a terrible matchup like Morris, Edgar, for example, then grounded is a really good star power that doesn't allow brawlers to reload in combination with reload speed. But yeah, overall, you want to go with positive feedback and shield gear also. For Ashe, always play heal, always play first star power for additional rage so you can farm your rage even faster. Ashe is not a bad brawler anymore. And you want to have damage for sure on him. Heal gear might be pretty good, to be honest, because you can farm your rage faster now by receiving damage. Yeah, play heal gear. That's the best one on him. For Lola, we want to have the shield. You can also play the stun double. Can also be some good plays. But I like having some cover in front of me against single target brawlers. And it's pretty hard to make this gadget work. The second one. So I'm always going with the first one. Reload gear in combination with shield. And then also it's up on you. Either you get some extra damage. Make sure you're always on 1 ammo. But if you prefer sustain, then you go for sealed with a kiss. For Showdown, I can recommend this build. For 3-3, I can recommend both builds. For Sam, always the first gadget, always the first star power, damage of course, and maybe you want to go for heal or for shield gear. Mandy, cookie crumbs, so you can shoot through walls if it's a wally map, and if it's an open map, then you just go for caramelize. Basically, it's the same for both modes, so that's up on you. Just take care of the map. Shield damage gears and more speed while being focused. Now we have Maisie. In that robo mode in solo showdown, you can surely play this gadget. Like this, you will be able to, I don't know, deal like 20,000 damage to the robot, and like that, you will get him down really, really fast, which is a pretty cool strategy. But yeah, overall, go for movement, play shield damage, and also the slow star power for both modes. For Hank, yeah, in solo showdown, you play shield, and 3-3 you can play both. That's up on you. And the star power, I always recommend the first one. Having at least some extra movement speed. Second one, in my opinion, is basically useless, so yeah, don't play that. Then we have the gears. You want to play heal on him, because you cannot heal up while charging a shot, and you want to have some damage. For Pearl, we play the overcooked gadget for both modes, and also the second star power for both modes. And you consider in showdown playing shield gear with damage. In 3-3, it would be the healing gear. For Larry and Lori, always play the fall back gadget, so you can heal up yourself and also Lori a little bit. For the star power, you want to play this one unless you play heist, then you can consider playing this one. Because if Lori hits the save, then you are just a machine gun and can spam the save, which is very, very, very strong. But overall, take this one so you can transfer incoming damage. Shield damage is the way to go. For Angelo, always play the jump gadget in my opinion. Always play the heal unless you have a lot of water. For Showdown, it's always heal. For 3v3, I can understand if you want to have the flow star power for additional movement speed. Yeah, for the gears, we take shield and damage. And for Barry, always play the knockback. That's what you need. It gives you very good opportunities to get rid of some tanks, assassins, or whatsoever. Play faster reload speed when you're standing in your ice cream. You most likely always want to stand in ice cream, so just play that already. Shield damage are the gears. For Shade, play longer range. That definitely helps you. The other gadget is useless. For the star power, take damage reduction. Also way more useful than having that short movement speed. Gears are shield and damage. But you can also play +1 on him. The first mythic brawler, we have Morris. And for Morris, I can only tell you, don't play combo spinner. Always play survival shovel for more movement, for more main attacks. Always do that. As a star power, if you need a lot of movement, play the long dash 100%, especially in modes like duels or knockout. But creepy harvest is probably the better choice if you want to play Morris really aggressively. But honestly, honestly, I think if you have your long dash ready way more frequently, it has way more value, especially since we are able to heal with our super. Heals are most likely +1 and shield, I think. You can play almost any build on Morris. It can be shield damage, can be damage, and the mythic one, it can be +1 and damage, you know. The 4 gadgets on the right are the way to go for you, so choose whatever you prefer. Then we have Terror. We play the second gadget if we don't have any bushy map like Snake Prairie or Cavern and do Showdown. For gears we have, I think, +1 and shield. If there's a lot of bushes, you play speed. But the gadget is pretty strong, so you definitely want to have +1. So just make sure what you are doing with either your shield gear or if you want to have damage or speed on bushy maps. That's up on you again. For Jean, you want to have the knockback in solo Showdown against all the tanks and whatever can threaten you. Damage star power, the first one is useless. And shield damage. For 3v3, if the map is open and you have rangers as opponents, play the second one for additional damage. It's a pretty good gadget. As a star power, you want to help your team, so you play the first star power. I know many of solo players prefer to play damage. I also prefer damage, but in 3v3, you really don't be like that. Just play the magic puff star power. And then on bushy maps, Jean is a great brawler for that. On maps like Double Swoosh, you want to play speed gear and vision gear. On bushy maps, always play speed and vision. Also in duels, also in solo Showdown, Jean is made for this vision gear. It's his best one, but if there's not many bushes, you can play like shield and talk to the hand. For Max, always play the first gadget. In my opinion, always play the second star power, unless it's a mode like knockout, for example. And you want to play supercharged if you're planning to play really passive, and shield and damage. For Mr. P, definitely play the first gadget. The second one is just useless. It's always one shot, and I never struggled against a random spawning P porter, so always go for the first one. For the star power, it depends. I'm a bigger fan of having 20% more health on the penguins and 30% higher damage, while the damage doesn't really matter too much. But on knockout, for example, if you know, okay, I'm going to hit my shots anyway, go for the second one. But if you're not sure, then go for the first one. It deals more damage and has a larger hitbox. Shield damage, I don't know if it's only regarding damage. Like, I don't know if pet power is health or damage, but I think it's damage. If it's damage, then you don't want to play this. Then you just play like shield damage or shield +1, for example. For Sprout, you always want to replace your walls. For star power, play the first one to have additional impact, to be a bigger threat, and you go for shield and damage. Maybe even +1 if you don't feel like shield is necessary on a throw. For Byron, play the booster shots. Second one is good against tanks, assassins, and also against rangers. You have a safe hit like this. Or if your teammate really needs some big heal, it's only 20% less damage, but 40% less healing, so be careful about the healing if it's really worth it. Shield damage are the gears, and against brawlers like Penny, for example, here it depends on the matchup. If you have brawlers with a lot of stuff like Terror Shadows, for example, then you definitely play injection. If there's no reason to play injection against brawlers like Piper, for example, or Bull, then go for melees. But in Showdown, you always play injection because of the chests. You always want to be able to shoot through chests, and in Showdown, you don't know anyway what kind of brawler you will face. For Squeak, play 50% more damage. You can free shot a Mortis like this if he doesn't have shield gear or if you're on damage gear, and also more damage with the star power, like that your main attacks are pretty strong. That's for Showdown. In 3v3, you want to play slow so you can help your team like that, and you also want to have a better area control, so you consider playing this. Or if you don't think you need area control because the map is more open, then you go with the first gadget. Here's shield and damage, or +1 if you think you're going to need it. For Lu, no matter if solo Showdown or 3v3 or duels, always play the second one. I think having the freeze always ready with the super is very powerful, and you can kill every brawler like this. And also play the second star power, so they deal way less damage as soon as you're freezing someone. I can only recommend using shield and supercharge, because Lu's super is incredibly strong, and you want to make sure to have it ready. For us, we play the take cover gadget if we play against single targets. Also play it in Showdown. For 3v3, or if we have brawlers that don't deal single target damage, then you go for the second one to also be able to build more pressure. Shield damage are the gears, and for the star power, always take the first one. The second one isn't really good. For Buzz, it depends. On bushy maps, play this for control, the second gadget. If you don't have a bushy map, always the first one, no matter what mode. Star power, I always play the second one. The only reason why I would say play the first star power is if you're a teamer. Here's is clear, speed for bushes, you know, when you play like in Showdown, speed shield, on 3v3 speed damage. Or if you have a lot of bushes, you can also play speed and +1, which also works quite well. For Fang, always play the stun gadget, helps you very much, no matter what mode. And also play the second star power if you want to play it safe. If you want to play as aggressive as possible, then go for the fresh kicks for the first star power, because it will allow you to chain way more supers. For gears, we are going to play shield and damage. Unless you play 3-3, then you can also consider speed or heal. For Eve, always play the jump so you can get away. Reload gear is obvious. Never play the mythic gear. It's not good. And have the shield gear also ready. The hypercharge is very, very strong, so Eve is back in the meta. And for the star power, play the first one. It's just too hard to hit enough shots or deal enough damage with the second one against good players, so you want to play the first one to deal more consistent damage. For Janet, in Showdown, we play the second gadget. In 3-3, we play the drop the base gadget. Okay? So, as a star power, in Showdown and in 3-3, it's the same star power. The second one, focus up faster. And for gears, we play shield and damage. In 3-3, you can also play +1. Otis, this is a pretty cool gadget. You can do like cool plays with it in Showdown. So, if people run into the starfish, you can just easily kill them like this. It's kind of funny, but overall, you want to play the second gadget always, and also the second star power for more ink drops. Play shield and damage on Otis. For Buster, I always recommend playing the hooking gadget. That's really necessary. You don't need that health thing. Unless you play a crazy combo knockout, then you can consider doing this. Like that, you will get 2700 heal for all your opponents. So that's basically an 8k heal for a single gadget. But your overall second one is the better choice to go, especially in solo showdown. Star power, always go for the second one, because like this, you can also dodge a dynamic stun, for example, by activating your super. I recommend, if it's not bushy, shield damage or like heal damage. That should work out pretty well. And you know what to take when there's a lot of bushes on the map. And we have gray. Definitely pick the first gadget so you can do nice plays in knockout. You can also open the map like this. The second one is a bit more safe, but the first one gives you more opportunities to also make kills, for example. It's for both modes. For the star power, it depends. In hot zone, you definitely want to play the second star power. And overall, I would say go with the first one. So if Piper hits you, for example, you won't get like 3,000 or 4,000 damage, but instead like 1.5 to 2k, which is pretty cool. And it scales perfectly with the shield gear, which is why I recommend the shield gear and also damage or +1. For T, please take the first gadget in showdown, duels, etc. It's the best gadget out there for this brawler. In 3-3, you can consider playing the second one, but even there, I honestly think that the first one is better. For star power, always go for the second one. For knockout, like if you want to stay on range, then go for the first star power. We want to have +1 on him because of the first gadget, and also shield or either damage, something like that. For Willow, play the dive gadget. You can do incredible cool plays with that. And in showdown, you want to have additional movement speed so you can run into the zone with your opponents, or in duels, for example. In 3-3, you want to affect the reload speed of your enemies by 30% with the first star power. Shield damage is the build I'm always going for. Yeah, what can I say about Duck? No matter what, always play the second gadget for additional damage, and always play the second star power for additional heal. Gears are +1, and probably also speed if you have a bushy map. You can also consider playing heal. For Chuck, the gadget actually really doesn't matter. You don't really care about that. I think you want to go with rerouting overall, but you know, if you have many walls and you want to do a play or something, you can also go for a second. I cannot tell you much about this, like both of his gadgets are not really necessary. Same for the star power. In heist, for example, that's the only reason why you play Chuck, I guess. And you don't even need 4 posts. You can reach a safe easily with 3 posts. So I recommend having the stealing ammo ability. For Charlie, play the spider gadget. The second one doesn't work anymore. You know, these heal off combos, they do not work anymore. Play shield and +1. And also for the star power, I recommend having the first one. It's not very, very useful, but the second one is just worse, so it is what it is. Charlie needs some better abilities. For Miko, play the slow for an additional attack and slow. I don't think there's any reason to play the second gadget. Star power, always go for the first one, unless you play heist. And heist, you want to play the second star power. Or if you want to rush chests in showdown, then you can go for the second star power also. But overall, first star power. Here's a shield and damage. For Melody, for both modes, just play the shield, play the speed star power, and shield damage. Now we have Lily. Of course, this gadget probably also going to get removed or reworked. Play the first gadget, play the first star power. Well, the second one is not too bad, but you want to have additional damage on Lily to get your targets down. +1 gear, no matter what, and also shield. Well, I mean, if you don't like shield, you can also play damage. Clancy is like very useless now, I think, so I don't know why anyone play him right now. In showdown, you play the dash. In 3v3, you play the snappy shooting. For the star power, you always play the first star power because you want to hit 8-3 as soon as possible. For gears, shield damage. For Mui, we also want to have our super quite fast, so we play the first gadget. Second one is basically never useful. For the star power, obviously take the first one, no doubt. Both modes with shield and damage. For Juju, you can surely play both gadgets, but I think the second one is always a little bit better. You can choose whatever you want to have, and the first one is a bit better for attacking. The second one is a lot better for sustain and having more potential for plays. Star power, give him the slow. If Gree hits, you can just auto aim your opponents down, and I think it's pretty strong, so you want to go with this. Shield damage are the gears. Us Lightyear, well, I don't think we have to talk about this guy, but yeah, if I can rank it, the wing mode is the strongest one. It deals the most damage. The second best one is laser mode, because you keep your opponents low with that, and the worst is probably saber mode. For Spike, the first legendary brawler, we are playing the first gadget in heist, or you know, if you're playing against a lot of assassins that could jump on you, but overall the second gadget to have projectile block and additional healing. Star power, usually always curveball. I'm honest with you, just always play curveball unless the map has a lot of walls, then you may consider going for fertilize. Gears, you take the mythic gear for additional slow on your super and also shield gear. For Crow, in Showdown play shield, in 3v3 play slow. About the super, in 3v3 play the first star power, in Showdown play the second star power. Gears are mythic gear and shield. For Leon, you want to have the clone gadget in Showdown. In 3v3 you want to have the lollipop drop, so your teammates can also benefit from this. And always play the heal star power, no matter what mode. Play the mythic gear, and if you want shield gear, I'm just a big fan of shield, but you can also go for damage. That should also work. About Sandy, always play the sleep gadget. It's very strong and you need it because Sandy doesn't deal that much damage. She needs something to defend herself. Play the damage star power to keep enemies low and don't allow them to heal. And for the gears, play shield and +1. Unless you have bushes, you know, then cheat or maybe even damage in 3v3, but in Showdown go for shield. For Amber, in 3v3 play the first gadget, in Showdown play the second one, so you can defend yourself from certain enemies. In Showdown it's good to farm your super and have more control about the game. As a star power, you would like to play the first star power, so you can also charge your super while being near the puddle, which only works like this with the gadget. Play reload for sure, and you know, either if you have bushes, vision or shield. For Mac, we want to play heal in both modes and also the second star power in case that any melee is attacking us and we can deal a lot of damage, plus giving him a knockback. If you don't have any melees in your opponent team, then go for shield, but if it is the case, always go for the second one. Shield damage or the gears. And for Surge, that's interesting. In Showdown, you play the power shield always, and of course the first star power, the other one is useless in combination with shield and damage. In 3v3, you play also power shield, but also the second star powers because you're respawning and then it has more value. You don't always need to level up again and again. For Chester, always play spicy dice so you can have more control about what super you need. Deal damage gears and the Melomania star power no matter what. For Cordelius, play the jump no matter in which mode, unless in certain situations when you want to play poison mushroom against assassins, the poison mushroom is pretty good. But overall, I think the jump is better. I would always go for damage. Don't let anyone tell you that this gadget is better. It's so annoying collecting all these mushrooms. I always go for damage in Showdown. In 3v3, honestly, it might be better, but I don't like saying it. For gears, we play shield and damage. It is simple. In Showdown, play the first gadget and the first star power in combination with shield and damage. In duels, the star power doesn't matter. It won't have any impact. And in 3v3, if you play like a Byron Daryl combo, for example, like a pretty annoying combo, then play the second gadget to heal your ally and also the second star power, of course, because you cannot collect power cubes. You can also play shield +1 in Showdown. In 3v3, you can also play like, I don't know, like maybe also +1 because you're going to sit on the Daryl anyway, and then maybe you go for damage. I don't know. I don't think it matters too much. You won't do anything wrong by having +1 in your build. For Draco, we play the second gadget for both modes. It's really good and most likely gives you a chance to survive or kill an opponent. And as a star power, we want to have the additional heal, so don't take the first one. It sounds good in the first place, but overall the second one is better. As gears, you know, on bushy maps, you guys know how it works. Speed, for example, but also heal is pretty good on Draco or +1. I think heal and damage might be the best build on him. In Showdown, as always, it would be shield instead of heal. The final brawler is Kenji. For him, we still want to have the healing gadget. 50% damage taken into heal is a pretty strong ability. And we also want to have the damage block for every 5 seconds, still very strong. Play shield and damage, and that is basically every brawler and the best build. My voice is so done. I'm done with this video so much. So yeah, here we are, reached the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If yes, then leave a like and consider to subscribe to the channel. And if not, then leave a dislike and tell me what I can improve about my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Your SnakeThug. Peace.